much of anything. I don't know if you guys were watching this. How many of you, give me a yes or no if you were watching the impeachment process and the impeachment trial? I didn't watch it. I just sort of, like followed it in a little bit from the outside in. And basically, it ended exactly the way I thought it would. I just really couldn't see how they were going to remove Trump from office. I didn't, I didn't think they had the votes. I didn't think it was a good political strategy. I thought that the Democrats were making a huge mistake by, really pushing the issue. I think that it felt good. It's a nice little, it's what they call, they have that term mental masturbation, where you just kind of enjoy doing something just for the hell of it, but it's not necessarily a productive activity. Well, I think that's what this was. I think that, the idea of impeaching Trump, it sounds fun. It sounds glorious. It sounds like, something that this guy deserves. But the thing about it is, if you pull out a gun and you shoot it, you better make sure you squeeze the trigger, and you better make sure you can hit the target. And they couldn't hit the target. They squeezed the trigger, but I just don't think. I think it was kind of wishful thinking to think that they could remove Trump from office. Now the deal in terms of Trump being sort of pushed out. I think that it's also a loss for the Democrats, because they're going to lose more than just the chance to get him out of office. I think they've also lost the next election off of this. If you look at that sort of between the State of the Union and the fact that Trump goes up and gives a State of the Union speech as a persecuted, Republican, sort of taking on that victim role. What that really has done, I believe, is it's fired up his base. And I think it's demoralized the Democrats a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they're just angry that they can't get him out. So maybe that'll strengthen their base. I'm not sure, but I think it was a waste of time. I really didn't like it from the beginning. What's funny is Nancy Pelosi. I don't think she liked it either. I think Nancy Pelosi, being intelligent and strategic like she is, I think even Nancy Pelosi was like, this isn't going to work. Like, this is not going to help us to win the next election. And so, I just didn't think it was good. I didn't think it was very good. I didn't think it was a good move at all. Now let me see. Let me take a look at an article. I have an article that I pulled up on this, so we can kind of go through it together and kind of talk through it. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. So what it says here in USA Today is that the Senate acquitted President Donald Trump for his dealings with Ukraine on Wednesday, culminating months of bitter partisan clashes over accusations that he tried to cheat in the 2020 election by pressuring the U.S. ally to investigate political rival, former Vice President Joe Biden. The Republican-led Senate voted to acquit Trump on 2 articles of impeachment, abuse of power, and obstruction of Congress. Senator Mitt Romney, a Republican of Utah, was the only senator to cross party lines by voting to convict for abuse of power. Conviction was always unlikely in the GOP-led Senate, where Republicans hold a 53-47 majority because it required the support of at least 2/3 of the Senate, or 67 senators. So let me just, see if we can get this straight. So you got 47 Democrats in the Senate. You need 67 people to support your push to get Trump out of office. You need 67 votes, and you got 47. Does that make any sense? Give me a yes or no if you think that was a winning strategy, or something that they really, really thought through. I mean, again, maybe there's something at play I'm not aware of. But it seems to me like it was just a bad move, not because Trump didn't deserve to be, impeached. I personally believe, I don't trust the political system. Honestly, I believe that most presidents, if you dig enough into their dealings, they probably all have something that could embarrass them, impeach them, or whatever. Right? But then again, maybe I'm a cynic. I just don't believe any of these bastards are reliable or decent human beings. At least as a collective, they're not very effective or productive for the American people. That's for sure. But does it make sense to you? Give me a yes or no. Does it make sense to you that you should spend all the money and all the time it takes to try to impeach Trump, when you don't even have the votes to get it done? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. Um, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that the Democrats made a blunder that is going to end up being so great that they're going to pay for this blunder for the next 5 years. I really believe that. I believe Trump is going to get reelected off of this. I believe that they're gonna be, they're gonna be sitting on the sidelines again. And here's the thing, you know, the thing about it is that the existence of Trump as a political figure, the fact that Trump's in the White House, it's their fault. I mean, the Democrats created Trump. They helped him succeed. I think that they've been going too far to the left, and I know a lot of black folks who are sick of the Democratic Party. I don't know, shout it out. Are you sick of the Democrats? I've made it clear how I feel. I'm not a big fan of of what they've been doing. I think the Democratic Party has been leaving black people behind. Maybe they've got a master plan that I'm not aware of. Maybe they're doing something that I don't understand. But most of these areas, these cities around the country that are led by the Democratic Party, they're worse than they were 20 or 30 years ago. You've got in the city of Chicago, you've got young black males. Does anybody know this? Tell me if you know this or not. Did you know that in the city of Chicago, the unemployment rate was of young black males between 20 and 25 is almost 50%? That almost 50% of the young men especially in the black neighborhoods of Chicago, almost 50% of the young black men do not have jobs and they are not in school. This is your future. I mean, these are your husbands, these are your fathers, these are your leaders of your community, and they're all falling to the wayside. And all these so-called liberal allies that you supposedly have, they don't care. They don't bring it up. They don't see this as an issue. I personally think this should be seen as a national emergency. And what the Republicans have been doing quite effectively, actually, at least enough to demoralize Democratic support, is they've been saying basically like, look at all the problems you have. Look at all the things you're going through. Look at what's happening to your people. Look at what's happening to your men. Have the Democrats mentioned it? And we're like, no. Did Obama talk about it? No. Does anybody seem to care? And we're like, no. Well, I don't, I personally, so at the end of the day, I think a lot of black folks see all this stuff going on in Capitol Hill as white folks' problems. So give me a yes or no. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you see these as white people problems? Like when you see the people at Capitol Hill fighting over Trump, do you see these as white folks' problems, or do you see this as something that really affects the well-being of the black community? So, for example, if Joe Biden or what's his name, Bernie Sanders was president tomorrow, do you believe that the black community will suddenly be in a much better position than it's in right now? Do you believe that life would improve for black people? I don't even know where people get that from. I really don't. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. Also, if you, as you subscribe, you can also go to intelligentblackpeople.com to follow the platform and to support the platform. So go to intelligentblackpeople.com, or you can also go to boycewatkins.com if you want to learn more about some of the events we have coming up. I have books out, things like that. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com as well. All right, so let me read more. It says, Trump was just the third president to face a Senate impeachment trial in U.S. history. Former presidents Andrew Johnson in 1868 and Bill Clinton in 1999 were both acquitted. So impeachment is apparently not an effective process. I mean, they talk about how brilliant the founding fathers were and all that other bullshit they teach you in school. Just so you know, about 80% of what you learned in school about history was BS. I just want you to know that. And so they tell you how brilliant the founding fathers were. Well, if they were so brilliant, then why is it that our entire government has pretty much broken down and is completely dysfunctional? If they were so brilliant, then why is it that there's so many millions of people that feel completely marginalized by this government? If they're so brilliant, then why are so many people out here that really feel like they don't even live in a democracy? They live in some sort of weird aristocracy, dictatorship, racist sort of white supremacist BS. I really, most people don't feel they live in a democracy. And I can just tell you, as a person who's an expert on money and capitalism, you don't really live in as much of a democracy as you might think. You live in a society that's driven by money and by wealth, and that's why guys like Donald Trump are always going to win. they're always going to win because your capitalism has eaten up your democracy. Your capitalism has destroyed your democracy. So that if you want to know my position, I love to talk to Black people about wealth and economic power, because because if you don't understand economic power in a society like America, a broken down, dysfunctional sort of space that we live in, if you don't understand economic power, then you're basically bringing a water gun to a gunfight. You're literally bringing a water gun to a fight where people have bazookas and Uzis and AK-47s, and you're showing up with a super soaker looking dumb as fuck right now because you don't understand how this game works. That's why the Trumps are always going to win. That's why you can't become president of the United States if you don't have $1 billion in the bank. So anyway, let me keep going. Let me keep reading more of this. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit that thumbs up button. The thrust of the accusations from House Democrats was that Trump invited foreign influence in the 2020 election by pressuring Ukraine to gather dirt on Biden, and then stonewalled the investigation after getting caught. The lead House manager who prosecuted the case, Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff, Democrat California, said that the misconduct was part of a pattern which included invitations to Russia and China to investigate his rivals that would continue if left unchecked. Okay, I see what happened. So first of all, let me ask you guys this. This is a quick poll. Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. How many of you believe Trump probably broke the law? Like, how many of you believe Trump probably did something illegal at some point during his time in office? Yes or no? How many of you believe Trump broke the law as president of the United States? Give me a yes or no in the chat. Okay, Step May says yes. Who else? Let me see. I'm looking at some of your other comments here. Here we go. K Mill says yes. Yes, he broke the law many times, says William. Kimberly, yes. Darlene, yes. Hell yeah, says Born Hustler. Yeah, I mean, Trump, I believe he broke the law too. I believe that he's a pretty corrupt guy. I mean, if you look at Trump's history just as a businessman, just as a businessman, he was in a lot of shady spaces. He was in a lot of those Don King, Al Sharpton type spaces, mafia, mobster sorts of spaces. Like if you get into boxing and you become like a power broker in boxing, you're like 2 inches away from the mob. Like it's a real dirty game, right? Casinos and dealing with Russian mafia gangsters. Like Trump has a real messy kind of background there. So I fully expected that he wasn't going to follow the law. But to be honest with you, I didn't care as much about that as I care about what happens to Black people. I believe that the whole system is corrupt as hell. I think when you think about Barack Obama, think about this. I want you to just pressurize this in your brain for a second. Just sort of float this around in your head. Think about Barack Obama. Barack Obama in Chicago politics was pretty much a nobody in the year 2000. Barack Obama couldn't even win a local election around the year 2000. He ran against Bobby Rush and got his ass kicked. Chicago politics is about as corrupt as they come. It is right there with New York, where Trump is from. It's as corrupt as you can imagine. But yet Obama somehow miraculously goes from being a nobody and jumps the line ahead of all the veterans, all the people that have been in politics for 30 years, and somehow jumps ahead of all of them and becomes the king of Chicago and the president of the United States, bringing a lot of his Chicago buddies with him. Do you think on this earth or any other planet that it's possible to leapfrog Chicago politics that fast in such a dramatic way when you ain't got some shit on your resume, when you ain't got involved in some shit? Like seriously, I mean, and I bring this up not because it's a matter of talking about Barack or talking about Trump or whatever, because I told you I don't care about any of those politicians. If you ain't doing nothing for Black folks, I ain't got nothing to. I don't really care. I'm happy you got a deal with Netflix, and I hope you and Michelle enjoy, quoting Lizzo songs on your Twitter or whatever the hell you do. Like I don't know what you do now. Maybe you're like the Queen of England or something. But I think that sort of looking at the world in these white and black kind of frameworks, these very purist sorts of ways, it's just kind of silly. It's very naive. You know, this idea of like, oh well, you broke the law, but you're ethical, you're a good guy, and but you're a bad guy, and letting society tell you who's good and who's bad, who's legal and who's illegal, who broke the law and who's never broken the law. I'm gonna just tell you, I think if you dug into all of these people's backgrounds, you would find something that's that they could be arrested for, they could be removed from office for, or something at the very least immoral that they did in order to get there. So I don't care. I don't really judge that so much. What I really judge is, when you get your power, what are black people getting out of the deal? Um, we know they didn't get much out of the Obama presidency. We got symbolism, and gay people got a lot of stuff. Gay people got a lot of advances in the Obama presidency, but black people didn't. With Trump, I don't think intended to have a black agenda as president. But when he talked about black unemployment being lower than it ever was, he's not lying about that. Like they would, if he was lying about that, they would have called that, right? So, I don't really need to like you in order for me to appreciate whatever it is that's on the table in terms of opportunity that might not have been there otherwise. Ideally, I think politicians who really can pursue a black agenda and mention black people without being afraid to do that, that's ideal for black people. That politician does not yet exist. Peter Buttigieg, whatever his name is, he's not that guy. Bernie Sanders has already made it clear that he ain't trying to do nothing for black people. Joe Biden is he's pretty good at what they call it, patronizing, if you will, pandering. Yeah, pandering. Joe Biden panders pretty well. So pandering, if you like pandering and symbolism, then he's going to be your guy. Trump is he's just a raggedy old white man. He don't like black people. I don't like him. How about that? So if you want me to get upset about the fact that Trump doesn't like me, then ask me, do I think that he's upset that I don't like him? Do you think Trump cares that I don't like him? No, he doesn't care. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to quid pro quo. I don't really, it's not about you liking me. You liking me gives me no currency because I already like myself. I already have enough self-love that I don't need your love. It's the backward Negroes that kind of need white people to like them in order for them to feel better about their day. I don't need that. What I'm looking at is, are we in a position where we can empower ourselves as a community? And so I think that there are opportunities provided under every administration for you to move forward if you choose to do that. But if you're waiting for white Jesus to come along, or you think somehow that getting Trump out of office is suddenly going to make life better for black people, I think you're a little bit misguided. In fact, give me a yes or no. Do you think that if Trump is gone and the Democrats take over, that black people's lives are just going to remarkably improve? Like, do you think that we're going to be better off? What do you think? I don't think we will. I think at the very least, I mean, if you want to make an argument to get rid of Trump, I would base it on the fact that Trump is not presidential. Trump does not represent the United States well. Trump is not good for your safety, in my opinion, because I don't know if you guys have been following it, but the scientists keep this clock that basically measures how close we are to like nuclear annihilation or annihilation as a society. And they said this clock is closer to midnight, meaning that we're in more danger of complete annihilation as a society than we've ever been since the clock began in 1947. Literally in the last 70 years, we've never been closer to complete annihilation than we are now. So they factor in things like a nuclear holocaust. They measure the treaties, what treaties we're in and how those treaties are going, nuclear proliferation type stuff. They measure what are the chances we're going to get hit by an asteroid that'll kill us off like it killed the dinosaurs. They look at viruses and contagion, sort of like the SARS virus or the coronavirus, right? They factor that in. And then they come up with some sort of measuring stick that says, okay, this is the probability we believe that human beings might actually just not exist tomorrow. Because, and so with Trump being in office, and this is a valid point. This is the only thing that keeps me up at night when it comes to Trump. The other shit, I just don't give a fuck. I just don't care. Like you can't, I don't care what happened at the border when Mexicans tried to break into the country, and you can't convince me that he must be a racist because he doesn't want open borders. Like I know a lot of black people who don't want open borders either. So that's stupid to me. That's mind control. That's what Democrats do to get you on their side and get you fighting for their stupid causes. What bothers me about Trump is that when I look at this guy, I see a guy who is not. He's a narcissist. He's not psychologically healthy, I think. Um, I think he's probably a little. He's definitely selfish. He's definitely robbing the piggy bank. All Trump's kids are making tens of millions of dollars a year from the White House, so it is costing the country. He's not very smart. I like to have a smart president, and also he likes to fight way too much. He's one of those Yahoo white boys that takes great pride in our military and wants to go drop bombs on people and all the other stuff. So I think that's if you want to know what worries me about Trump, it would be that. It would be the fact that Obama, yeah, he was a little bit of a wimp. He was definitely a wimp. But and a lot of my military friends say this too. It's not just me. I have a lot of military friends who are like, yeah, that guy's a pussy. But the benefit of him being a wimp is that he was an intelligent wimp and he would think through things before he did them. He didn't just, shoot off the hip, and like Trump is the type of guy I could see just getting mad and not launching a nuke at somebody just to prove a point. Obama was more measured than that. I think he could actually internalize the global impact of the decisions that he makes. And that's why, if you ask me which president I would prefer, it would be Obama over Trump. But I don't think either one of those guys is great for black people. But I think in terms of what's better for America, I liked Obama a little bit more than Trump. But I also think at the same time, black people have to be careful about your love affair with the Democrats, because answer this question for me. Was it the Democrats or the Republicans that passed those crime bills in the 1980s that incarcerated so many black men? Was it the Democrats or Republicans? Let me ask you this. Was it the Democrats or the Republicans that shoved that LGBT agenda down your throat to the point where they were calling black people homophobic and everything else? Democrats or Republicans? Let me ask this. Was it Democrats or Republicans that pushed forth this whole Me Too movement and these new Title IX laws on college campuses where your black son can be accused of raping a white woman just because she decided to get pissy drunk and have sex. Next thing you know, she's charging your son with rape and getting him sent to prison for the next 80 years. Democrats or Republicans, who pushed that agenda, right? And so my point is not to advocate for one party or the other. It's really just to kind of tell it like it is, man. And 90% of our people are just stupid on this stuff. Like, we just vote for whoever we're told to vote for, and we follow whatever we're told to follow. And I'm not going to just follow you just because somebody told me to. I'm too smart for that. So in terms of Trump being back in office, from a strategic standpoint, I think it was a bad move to try to impeach him because you didn't have the votes. If you had the votes, it would have been a good move to impeach him. Then you could go back and get your power, right? I think that Trump's existence as a president is because of the Democrats' lack of action, especially on behalf of the black community. A lot of black folks lost faith in them. I also think that their decision to try to impeach him, mark my word, I believe that's going to get him back in office for another 4 years. So it is what it is. Do I care? No, my life does not change based on who's in the White House, because I'm an investor. So, me and the people that I roll with, we're getting money in every administration, because America is not a democracy. It is a capitalist society. So get your capitalism straight so you can take care of your family. That's my 2 cents. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Everybody, please subscribe to the Black Financial Channel, theblackfinancialchannel.com. That is a daily Black-owned financial news and commentary channel that we created. We have 4 times more subscribers than Black Enterprise, so we're really doing the damn thing. My Twitter is Dr. Boyce Watkins 1, Dr. Boyce Watkins 1. Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. Hello, everybody on Instagram. And last but not least, my website is boycewatkins.com. So if you want to learn more about what we got going on, go to boycewatkins.com. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and thank you for listening. And I hope you can still love me, even if you think I'm crazy or stupid or disagree with me. It's all right. We're open-minded here, and it's okay to welcome all different points of view. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Peace.